So I finally got done watching Stranger Things Part 2, and I have to say, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more, especially after being so disappointed with Season 3. Because I feel like Season 3 was just, when I look back on it, it was just kind of a mess, and not something I really look back as fondly. I really enjoyed it in the moment, but I feel like there were just so many characters and so many subplots that really dragged everything down. The Russian stuff just was not as interesting and really took away from the Mind Flayer stuff. And overall, it just made me not really look forward to Season 4. And so when Season 4 finally came out about a few weeks ago, I took a few days to watch it, and eventually I was like, alright, let's do it. And I really, really enjoyed this entire season. I have to say, the best part about this season was how there's just so many less subplots. Because I mentioned just like Season 3 just had like 5 subplots going on. Obviously all came together, but really just didn't really let each one really stand out on their own because it just kept cutting away from it all the time. So I really loved how there's just like 3 subplots in California, Russia, and Hawkins. It made everything just so much easier to pay attention to and really allowed for like much stronger story beats and characters that we got to spend more time. I will have to say though, I did not like Russia at all. It just felt so far away and distant from the main plot. Like, I felt like they tried connecting it to the main plot at the end by saying, oh, if we hit this guy hard, maybe it'll affect the creature in the upside down. And, like, when you're watching, it's like, it didn't really help at all. So, like, I don't know. It just felt like this was just kind of pointless, you know? Like, obviously, like, Hopper's a cool character and all, but, like, it just really took away from, like, how strong the Hawkins plot was. Like, it's kind of like, I could have just killed Hopper last season, or just not make it such a big deal that he would have died. And so it's just not like really takes away from everything. You know, so what really only good thing about Russia for me was just like Yuri and Murray. That's because those two were just so freaking ridiculous. Like that scene where Murray's fighting Yuri on the plane and just starts doing all his kung fu moves. That was so funny. He was like the only real saving grace of Russia. Obviously, watching some of the gore and horror was entertaining, but other than that, it just really, really dragged down this season for me, man. Every time I cut to it, I was just so annoyed. I saw this meme online of where someone was like skipping through it all, like every time Russia comes up, skip 10 seconds, and I never laid more to me in my life. I feel like I would have just enjoyed it if it was just not really part of the season. Like, it was just so distracting and just was so obnoxious. I will say, though, it did feel good to see Hopper and Eleven reunite, especially after how much trauma Eleven went through this season again. So that's the only real saving grace of the Russia plot. You know, I almost had a tear in that moment. But I will say, though, the characters at this season were just at their best in Season 1. I will say 3 best for me being Nancy, Eleven, and Max. I really enjoyed the day of Nancy. It just felt good to, like, see her just take charge and just be a strong and independent. And just really, really showed her progress in Season 1. And how she just confronted the world head on by herself. You know? I will have to say, though, when I talk about Nancy, I just don't care about Jonathan. And I have not since Season 1. The only good scene with him this season was one with him and Will, where they had a good emotional moment. And honestly, I was just so happy to hear how they were going to break up. I was pumping my fist in the air. It's like, yes, we can finally get him out of the show. And I just really want Nancy and Steve to get together at this point. It's just like their arcs and growth since the beginning are just overlapping now. And just get them together. I just get Jonathan out of here. I also felt good to see Eleven just take personal agency finally and just see her struggle throughout the season with finally confronting her past and just closing that chapter. It just felt good. It also felt good to like see her beat that one chick with the roller skate. I always like the scenes where like characters where like they lose their powers, but then they realize like how low they've actually changed and they're actually just still a monster or this horrifying thing. I feel like The Boys just did that really well recently, and I enjoyed that. I'm also glad they gave Max like a really good plot this season. I feel like she hadn't really done anything in a while, and I just loved her like confessing at the end, just finally being open with all her friends about her struggles, how she really felt about Billy and her family. And I will have to say that Kate Bush scene was pretty legendary, just being honest. But side note, I can't stand that song anymore. Everywhere I go on social media, I just hear it every time. Every single TikTok, every single Instagram reel. It's just hear that song going, and it's driving me insane at this point. Still a good song, but like, I need to take a break from it for quite a while. I'm really glad they sent Mike and Jonathan to California because I was just so happy they were not really relevant this season. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't like both, and I just don't think their role in the show really is really interesting anymore. I feel like Mike just hasn't been interesting since season 1. Ever since then, I feel like he just whines, is just mean to his friends, and all he wants to do is just make out with 11 all the time. I feel like that's like his whole personality. He's just not likable or interesting anymore. I feel like the only reason he's really relevant now is because of Elle. The problem is that her best emotional moments aren't really with him. I feel like it's just with Hopper and Max. I feel like she's a stronger relationship with them as she does with Mike. Also, side note, that scene where Will's like, Mike, you're the heart of the group. I was like, no, not really. I mean, it's cute to say, but it was just way far from reality. If he was really the heart, then why did the writer send him the boring plot? I also just loved watching Elle grill him about the letters. That was just really satisfying to watch. Moving on to Jonathan, what relevant or character thing has he done, like, in a while? I just can't think of anything besides just getting together with Nancy. I feel like that's probably what they just gave up on and just made a pothead. I feel like he's just not interesting, and now there's this relationship with Nancy. I was honestly just rooting for them to break up, and I really, really hope they do next season. I'm just surprised it didn't happen here since there was just so much build-up towards it. I feel like Argyle is really the saving grace of California. He's just so dumb and funny. Especially that scene when they go to the Surfer's Pizza in Nevada, and the guy's exactly like him. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. It just kind of makes you wonder, like, how maybe the writers knew Russia and California would be kind of boring like that. So they added just these really strong comedic characters to them, just so we could have some sort of interest in them. I will say, whenever the plot's just in Hawkins and focus mainly on the Vecna stuff, it's just so strong. I did enjoy that side plot with 11. It did drag on a little bit too much, but I did enjoy the character moments she got there, especially like the ending scene with her, with the Papa character, and she just like gives up on him, just moves on her own. That was just really satisfying to watch. I feel like Vecna was just such a unique and terrifying villain. That's something we just haven't seen in quite a while since 1. Because I feel like they tried making the villain strong in season 3, but just like wasn't really the focus. Mind Flayer wasn't a focus enough because his attention was distracted with the Mind Flayer. So I really, really enjoyed just how much character and how much horror they gave to him. Like, the shit he was doing was just terrifying, you know? So I really just thought like his powers were just so unique and really led itself to really great mystery as well. And just really showed just how much danger all our characters were in at all times. You never know whenever Vecna is just going to strike. I also just how like personal his attacks were to our main characters. Like, it really made you against him. Like, he killed that one girl in the trailer that really haunted Eddie. Like, she kept targeting Max, like stuff like that. Just really, really made him effective. I feel like his connection to Elle was good, but like I feel like what really made him great and effective was more just his personal attacks in the moment, not really his past. So overall, I really enjoyed this season though. Everything that was in Hawkins was just 10 out of 10 material and really kept me glued to the screen. I'm really happy the writers learned from their prior mistakes and kept the main plot somewhat focused and not have like so many subplots that really distracts you. I just hope next season, all the subplots are just really engaging rather than just one. I just hope the rest of stuff is just gone. I feel like it just really, really weighed this season down. And the season could have just been a lot better if they just really cut that out or something, or just find some better way to implement it in the show rather than just being like so far away from the main plot. I will say though, the ending this season has me really, really excited to see what comes next. Because I feel like what they did to Hawkins, and now that we have all the characters finally back in one place, I'm excited to see what happens. Overall, I'd probably give the season like an 8 or a 7 out of 10. I feel like the Russia stuff was like 3 out of 10, while the Hawkins stuff is a 10 out of 10, and it just, overall, it really, really drags it down a bit, but I will say so, this is probably the best season since about season 1. It's really that strong, and I would recommend anybody go check it out. Hey guys, thanks for tuning to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. I think this is the fastest I've got a video in a while. I think I just tried a new writing method instead of just writing so strictly. Thought it'd be better if I just talk a little looser, see how that went. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment if you really want to. Let me know how you thought about Stranger Things. And yeah, Plan on reviewing The Boys Season 3 next, and I'll see you soon.